So, like, family was a big support system for you.
Yeah, my mother was a big support system for me.
Were there any support systems in like the actual union that?
Not really, not really. But what I really got my support system from, I had a neighbor when I was growing up. Their older brother was wanted to be a sheet metal worker. This is in the early '60s. So he went to trade tech 2 years, learned how to be a sheet metal, and then he completed the program. Then he go down to the union hall and try to apply. And the man said, "We're gonna hire black people." And that kind of knocked him down, kind of hurt him. And I heard it and I saw it, and then later on in life, I had a chance to get in it. I said, "I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna stay in it, because that was wrong how they did my buddy's brother, kicked him to the curb." And now you look at it now, sheet metal, they got women running work now. And he tried to get in the early '60s. He just couldn't get in there. It was really sad. It's just like with my father. My father could have been one of the first black rollers, steel roller. One of those rollers in the '50s, he'd have made $30,000 or more. That's too much money for a black man to be making in those days. And if he'd have produced more tonnage, he'd have got more money like a bonus. They was going to send him to Chicago and everything. Matter of fact, the same man, Mr. McGuire, Ed McGuire, he was the one that got my father. They used to go to a lot of meetings and all that. Matter of fact, I used to go to union meetings with my dad. And I saw how and they found out he was black and they didn't want him to go to Chicago to be a roller.
What were some of the barriers you had to overcome?
What a race, especially the rednecks from the South. You had some was good, and then you had some was complete, asses. But that's life in general. You're always going to run into that. Nobody's perfect. Nobody know how we came about, so that's how you go with that.
In terms of like your foremen and the people who were working above you, did they tend to be sort of on which side of the line did they tend to be?
Well, they mostly try to be on the side to keep themselves straight so they can keep working, so they can make money for the company. That's the whole name again. They want to make money for the company so they can keep working, so we have jobs to go and do another job. Money-wise.
Do you feel that there's a glass ceiling for black workers? Like, because you mentioned how your dad wasn't able to.
Well, that was in the '50s,
Do you feel that that's changed or that?
That's changed a little bit, but there's no work here. All the work is gone out of here. Because my dad work, it's been closed probably 40 years. Southwest Steel, it's closed. Bethlehem's closed. Sioux Lake closed because of ecology. But work has been good and has been bad. It's hard to say in a way. A lot of work has gone out of here. Nothing's here no more.
But I guess in terms of the leaders of the industry, would you say that there's sort of equal opportunity to get up to those ceilings?
Yeah, well, see, one thing about ironwork, you can start as an iron worker, as an apprentice, and years later you can be a field superintendent of a company. You do the bidding on the job, you hire the people that you want to work on the job. That's how you do it like that. And it's unlimited what you can do. Depends on yourself. It's hard work, but you can do it. It's just like this. You put your pants on one leg at a time.
So it's all about being self-motivated.
Oh yeah, I got to be motivated.
So what advice would you give to people entering the field today, since you mentioned it's a little different?
Go on and work hard. Keep your mouth shut. Only 3 things you need to know how to talk about: news, weather, and sports. Don't get personal with nobody. You might get personal with somebody later on down the line. as a friend. But when you're going out there, just go to work, keep your eyes open, see what everybody else is doing, because you won't know everything. It take you. If I go out there now, I still learn something after 40 years. But you got to keep your eyes open, your mouth closed, and ready to work all the time. You know.
So with your work doing outreach, what was that like?
Well, you know, just going to job fair, career days, talking to people coming to my table, try to sell my trade to them. It was funny, one lady told me the heaviest thing her son want to pick up is a pencil. I said, well, you can't be iron worker, because some rods are heavier than that, you know. Any farm or construction, you got to pick up something heavier than a pencil. Might have to pick up a drill, might have to pick up a sander, you know. So that's being lazy. Just want to pick up a pencil.
So, do you feel that black workers are represented well in the industry?
No.
No.
We're still lacking.
What do you feel is the reason for that?
Well, you know, a lot of young men, I'm just talking about young men in general, they've never seen a man going to work at home. They've never been in a home where they had a father that come home from work tired, sit in a certain chair, take his boots off, his boots on the side of the chair, and that's it. They never seen that. So they don't know how to deal with that. They don't know how to deal with going to work and how you have to deal with somebody coming up to you talking crazy once you do more work than this guy. They don't understand that, you know, because they have never had that man in the home or a man in the neighborhood. You know, this is why I grew up out in Watts on 92nd and Wilmington. My buddies I grew up with, their fathers along Longshoremen with my uncle. Mr. Johnson lived next door to me. He worked at Bethlehem Steel. Another man, Mr. Prevost, he was a longshoreman. Mr. Duffy worked at the aerospace. There was a lot of me in the neighborhood that was working when I was growing up, you know, and I was able to see that. And that's why everybody wanted a job. We had a lot of jobs here at one time. We don't have none like we used to.
So one barrier is people not having that like easy access, like, oh, my dad did this, so I should do that. Or,
and they
my
didn't,
neighbor did this.
Right. And then they come down, you know, like most jobs is always handed down, like from father to son, the grandson, you know, it's going down the line. You know, you don't see that no more like it used to be. A lot of kids don't want to do what their dad used to do. You know, well, I can take that back. My uncle was a plumber, and my cousin became a plumber too. I don't want to be a plumber because every time I went with them, I had to do the digging. I don't want to do no more digging. You know, I'll go in the house.
Do you feel there are any misconceptions about ironwork currently?
Not really. There's no misconception about ironwork. It's just a hard trade. You got to pay attention. You got to be able to go to work every day, and just enjoy yourself working. You know, there's a lot of fun sometimes. You know, working with guys. You can get like playing sports. You know, you get something going and keep working all day. You know, make everybody laugh, say certain things funny, keep everybody laugh, keep that pressure off that tonnage, and keep going. You know. You want to be an iron worker?
Nah.
You don't want to pick up none of that pencil.
I'd love to be able to, but nah, I'm probably gonna do something education based.
That's good. Be a teacher.
Yeah, teaching or something like that. What was I gonna ask? I had to ask one more time.
Take your time.
Oh, do you feel that the apprenticeship program can prepare somebody who
Oh, yeah.
might be like lazy to?
Well, that's within yourself. You got to motivate yourself to get unlazy. and maybe the printer school might help you, because you're going to do some one-on-one things in the printer school, you know, like how to build a wall, a slab, learn how to read your blueprints, learn how to be able to find some on your blueprints. You know, you got to motivate yourself, self-preservation. You know about that, don't you?
Do you feel that some young men and women might feel that they aren't cut out for the industry before they even give it a shot? Like, because there are these preconceived notions that like the ironwork is something real tough and real hard. Like they might doubt themselves not having any experience.
They might doubt themselves. A lot of them want to come in there and work. You know, they don't. It's like I said, it's a new experience in working, because you never worked that hard before in your life. You know, and then they're just gonna kind of dog you in a way, but they're not dog. They dog you in a way so that you can be better than what you was the next day. You know, if somebody's on your case, don't worry about it. They're just trying to make you better than what you are. Because it's two men, you work with a partner all the time. And things you do together with your partner, you learn how to work together, you know how to put this in, and you work together with each other. You won't know anything until you get out there in the field and get your hands dirty. It's just like when you're trying to go swimming. You got to jump in the water to learn how to swim. And just like you have to learn how to jump in that iron pile and learn how to work iron. You got to learn how to be able to tie steel, learn the different sizes of steel, learn how to work, clearance. A lot you got to learn. The splices on the bars. There's a whole lot to deal with, you know, with ironwork. It's hard work, it's heavy work. You got to put it in the right time. You got to put the steel in at the right time, because you don't have to come back and do it again.
Is there any other information you'd like to share with us about sort of your experiences or suggest advice?
Well, just think positive. Think about, you know, when you're working, it's hard work, it's hot out there. Man is hooping and hollering. But you just go to work and you think about that check that you're going to get. That's what you think about. The money, like they say, the money, honey. That's what you think about, the money, because you're out there to go to work, you know, to make money. That's the name of the game, to take care of your family, to take care of you, have your medical, have your benefits, your dental, your vision. Learn how to save money. Learn how, you know, it's not always going to be a smooth road. It's always going to be up and down. Like, for example, it might rain. We don't work in the rain here. Depends on if we work inside. You got to learn how to budget your money, you know. Don't go out and buy something you can't afford. Learn how to maintain your money, you know. It takes time to do certain things. So you got to be very cautious how you do certain things, how you take care of things at one time, you know. But if I had to do it over again, I'd just be more cautious. I would be trying to get my rest more instead of, you know, running the street chasing, you know.
All right, then.
Makeup.
The law is after 3 days.
No kind of